Rich? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the City of Henderson Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowell.
Here.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Here.
Commissioner Staton.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Mayor Ott.
Here. First thing on our agenda is a presentation from Bill Latta and Whitney Floyd on our workers' compensation carrier dividend that the employees of the City of Henderson earn. So, welcome and
Thank you. We are happy to be here, and congratulations. You guys are receiving a dividend from Kimmy for their workers' comp program for the year 2019. What they do is they let those claims settle out before they declare a dividend. And I will say that not everybody policyholder of Kimmy gets a dividend check. You all are a recipient because of your good loss experience and the fact that you are still a client of Kimmy. But most of all, this is a result of the city commission, you guys, management, and most of all, the buy-in of the employees of practicing good safety standards and having good loss ratios. This check is in the amount of $30,000. What I do with it? I think I've lost it. $30,996.09. So, congratulations to you guys.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Any questions? We've enjoyed a lifelong partnership with you guys, and Kimmy has too.
Thank you for your help, and thanks to help our HR and safety person, Sam Lingerfeld, who is doing an absolute good job. I don't think Sam's here today, but he is into it, I'm telling you. So, and we appreciate his work, we appreciate y'all's help.
We commend all of you all for it.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Need this check, Mayor.
All righty, I'll get it to the right person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, if you want to endorse it, I'm happy to help you with it. Thank you all.
Thanks for being here today. Next, we have a consent agenda with 4 sets of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Oh, you're reading.
There's several other items
Okay.
too. We have the minutes of the October 19th, 2021 calls meeting, the October 19th, 2021 work session, October 26th, 2021 regular meeting, November 2nd, 2021 calls meeting, resolution number 31-22, resolution approving agreement with the Humane Society of Henderson County Incorporated, allocating $10,500 monthly for 6 months for animal control and shelter services, and the mayor is authorized to execute agreement on behalf of the city. Resolution number 32-22, resolution authorizing the rebate of 1% of wages, salaries, or other compensation paid by Cytex Incorporated, imposed and levied as occupational license fees due and payable to the city of Henderson, Kentucky by ordinance from the salaries, wages, and other compensation to be paid to new employees hired over the baseline by Cytex Incorporated, provided said company meets the criteria set forth in its application for incentives under the Kentucky Business Investment Program, and Municipal Order 56-22, Municipal Order authorizing purchase of a 2015 JLG 600 AJ lift for municipal facilities in the Public Works Department from Equipment Depot Kentucky Incorporated, Evansville, Indiana, in the amount of $59,200.
Now, I'll just mention very briefly that the Henderson City County Co-op Committee, which, Commissioner Austin Vowles and Commissioner Brad Staten, represent the city on there, and, the two county magistrates. They looked at this Humane Society situation yesterday. I think they gave some opinions of how we might be able to improve some things and do some things a little bit differently. But, generally speaking, they advised us that they are ready to, make this 6-month payment to that company for doing our animal control. And on the occupational license fees for SciTech, that is on the new and added employees only. So I think that number was it 30 or less? And on the J-Lift, that is a budgeted item, and the Public Works Department was able to find a slightly used lift, and that is what we will be purchasing. Is there any item that a commissioner would like to pull off the consent agenda? Being none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a second. Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. Next, we have first reading of an ordinance accepting public improvements on Canoe Creek, Section 2.
Ordinance number 20-22, ordinance accepting public improvements. An ordinance accepting public improvements consisting of roadways in Canoe Creek 2, Section 2.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. Next is an ordinance accepting public improvements at River's Edge, Section 1.
Ordinance number 21-22, ordinance accepting public improvements. An ordinance accepting public improvements consisting of roadways in River's Edge, Section 1.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Good, stay from this vote, because I'm one of the few people in property.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. Next is a ordinance amending the pay plan for the shift differential for the Henderson Water Utility Chief Engineer, and this is part of their succession plan.
Ordinance number 22-22, ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan and non-hazardous grade and salary ranges. Ordinance approving amendment to job classifications and pay plan and non-hazardous grade and salary ranges to remove the HWU Chief Engineer position and to add shift differentials for 911 Emergency Communications Department employees.
Is there a motion to approve, please? The second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Tom's here if you have any questions. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. And then a continuing ordinance with that last one is ordinance amending the Henderson Water Utility fiscal year 23 budget to approve the budgeted position.
Ordinance number 24-22, ordinance providing, Ordinance number 23-22, ordinance amending portion of Henderson Water Utility 2022 through 2023 budget. Ordinance amending Henderson Water Utility budgeted positions and job classifications of the 2022 through 2023 budget by removing one HWU Chief Engineer position and adding one HWU Chief Engineer Contract Employee position.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles? Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. Next is an ordinance providing for the levy and collection of the ad valorem taxes, which are the property and related taxes for 2022.
Ordinance number 24-22, ordinance providing for the levy and collection of ad valorem taxes. An ordinance of the City of Henderson, Kentucky, providing for the levy and collection of ad valorem taxes for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022, and providing for the time of payment for such taxes, penalty, interest, and discounts.
Don, help me on this now.
Need a motion and a second to discuss it.
To discuss it, okay. We're gonna have a motion and a second to discuss it, and then there's some things we wanna talk about.
So moved.
On the subject.
Second.
Motion and a second. Buzzy, we've got a number in here right now, which is a reduction.
From .49 to .47.
That's the current, thing, a reduction from .49 to .47 on the property taxes and all. Commissioner Staton wants to speak briefly on, a little bit of a, revision on that for a good purpose. So, Commissioner Staton, you want to go?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we've been working behind the scenes. I've talked with everyone on the commission and gotten a little input here and there. Working on a plan for East End and inner city development that could potentially cause some generational change in that area. It is not fully fleshed out now, but I wanted to bring it up today because the mayor had suggested, and I thought it was a great suggestion, a way to fund it. Right now, we're looking at dropping our property tax rate for the second time in the last 6 years from 490 to 470, which would be about a 4% decrease. What I would like to propose is that we go from 490 to 475, which is still over a 3% decrease in our property tax rates. And the reason I'd like to propose that is because the plan that we're working on is going to require some investment on behalf of the city. And that specific investment is going to call for $1.2 million over the course of 4 years. So an average of around $300,000 per year. It's looking at addressing 5 key pillars in that area. One would be blight and affordable housing. One would be infrastructure. One would be economic development, one would be public safety, and the other would be beautification and special projects. Just for an example, as we flesh this out and become more specific with it, one of the things that I personally would like to see is we have a what used to be a business corridor, which is now a lot of buildings that used to be businesses on Letcher Street. And I would like to see under economic development us to address that area with incentives for new business owners and redevelopment money. But there are a lot of good things that we have done in the East End. The fact is that to make a generational change in that area, we're going to need money, time, and effort and focus. The plan would call for our new assistant city manager, whenever that person is hired, to coordinate with a number of people in that area, as well as the city commission and other entities to enact that plan. The first bit of money, the first $300,000 would be next fiscal year is when we would start funding the program. And so we have a good 10 months to flesh it out, become more specific, create goals, and decide on our priorities. And then for the next fiscal year, I would anticipate that we would have $300,000. And then each additional fiscal year after that, for a period of 4 years, at least 4 years, we would have $300,000 additional money each year. And that's over and above what we average budgeting for these items in our budget anyway. So in no means is that going to replace the money that we spend there. It will all be extra additional money. But I wanted to bring that up because if we make this change and we lower property taxes still by 3%, we can come very, very close to fully funding this program over the next 4 years while still cutting property taxes by a good bit this year. So I'd like to propose that we, and if that calls for a motion or an amendment, I'd be happy to make that motion, and then we can discuss that if you'd like. Dawn, I really would like for your direction on that.
Yes, you can do an amendment, and we actually have the amendment prepared. So if you just want to make a motion to amend that portion of the ordinance, and we will substitute our ordinance that's already prepared for that.
Brad,
Mayor,
before you make,
Mayor, sorry, I think, sorry, Commissioner, I think you were wanting to talk. I didn't know what order you wanted to go in. Do you want me to make the motion and then we have discussion about it, or do you want to have discussion and then make the motion?
I just want to make a comment before you make it.
Yes, sir.
Before you make it. I had talked with Brad about this. I think it's a good idea that we invest money in bringing back economic development on the East End, kind of like investing in our own city on the front end, and we'll pick it up on the back end with payroll tax, property taxes, and net profit tax. So I think it's a good idea. Love it. I mean, look what happened downtown just in 5 years.
Yeah.
Who's to say it won't happen to East End 5 years from now?
It's something like when we, out at the Whole Farm, when we took, taxpayer money and invested it, and you look out there on Sand Lane, look at all the payback that we're getting from that investment on the front end, and we're picking it up now for years to come.
Okay, Commissioner Staton, I believe it'd be a good time to make the motion to amend.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we amend from the 470 proposed rate reduction to a 475 rate reduction.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
You want,
Commissioner Dow,
I guess, do we need to
we
do?
need a roll call on the amendment, and then we need a roll call on the ordinance
Okay.
itself. So, Commissioner Dow,
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Staton,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Austin.
Now, is this the
This
time
will
to
be-
ask for the commission if they have any comments or want to say anything about this?
Sure.
Anybody have any comments or?
I just wanted to add to Commissioner Pruitt's comments. You're exactly right. I think that we have shown over the last several years what some intense focus and funding can do for the city. When you look downtown or Country View or economic development or soon to be growth of our city, we've had a number of successes that we've been able to enjoy. And those aren't just the city commission. We've got a lot of other people who are working hard on those issues. And I really think this is the start of something that can create a lot of very good positive change.
Mr. Val?
I was just gonna say, it's exciting to think about another, solid economic center somewhere within the city here. I'll make that happen. It's good.
Thank you. You all right?
On board.
All right, so we need a
Roll call
roll call on that particular,
on the ordinance
Ordinance.
now as it, with the new,
with amendment.
right.
The
as
ordinance as
amended.
amended. We're voting on the ordinance as amended. Okay.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Staton,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Austin.
Okay, bids and contracts. We are working on awarding a bid for the demolition of the IBT Center down on Second Street for the future purpose of putting a fire station on that property, which will serve the community very well location-wise, with 3 large neighborhood areas on the 3 sides, and then the downtown Henderson on the other side. So you want to mention anything on that, Thursday, before we get going?
I think that you covered that topic well. This is just another phase into replacing Fire Station 1. As y'all are aware, we've owned the property now for about 4 years. We did a original study of the IBT educational building. We found that the condition of the building wasn't conducive for a fire department function, And so we decided, from that date forward to demolish that building. And so with COVID, things got delayed. And if you're aware, we currently have a architectural firm of Brandsetter Carroll, out of Lexington. It is currently working on the space programming for the new fire station. And Dylan, I know you're on the line. Do you mind to give an update real quick on the status of the project for the fire station?
Yeah, so as Buzzy said, things have been a little bit delayed just for one reason or another, but now that we have the contract, or after tonight, we'll kind of hopefully have some direction to proceed forward on the demolition of the building. We've given them the green light to go ahead and start with the final design of the headquarter fire station on that property. And so, with the economy being what it is right now and just kind of the workload, they hope to get started on that soon. But hopefully, with it being the fall, hopefully we'll have a set of plans maybe by early next year, and then we'll be able to get this thing out to bid and get the fire station constructed shortly thereafter.
On another note, we have one remaining structure on our property, and that is the Answer Center. We've been advised that the Answer Center will be moving to a new location this October. So as we develop the site plan for the fire station, it may become necessary to bring that structure down as well, but that's a wait and see thing.
Okay. All right, then we'll have another discussion after we get a motion in a second. Is there a motion to approve the, okay.
Municipal Order 57-22, municipal order awarding bid for the demolition and removal of the IBT Education Building at 540 2nd Street to Hazex Construction Company Incorporated of Henderson, Kentucky, in the amount of $176,818.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Hazelwood is here with us tonight if you have any particular questions, but the it will be asbestos removal and disposal, building materials, building demolition, building foundation removal, and backfill. And I think it's important to note that the work will be done October 8th through October 15th, which is spring break week for the local schools, and that's going to help Second Street with the Second Street school traffic, and also in and around Holy Name. Mr. Hazelwood, anything you need to add, or any questions for Mr. Hazelwood?
I was gonna make a comment. Hazex, as we all know, has been working with the city for many years, and you've been a good partner. Your company has been a good partner with the city for a lot of different things, and we thank you for that.
I also just mentioned that it was a considerably lower bid than the next bidder, so appreciate that. Anything else? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Aye. City manager's report.
I have two items this afternoon. One, we will have a September workshop to discuss sanitation. And then the second item, Trey Stevens is with us tonight, but Commissioner Pruitt, pursuant to your request, Trace has put together a general plan as to a spray park on the Anthony Brooks Park across from the JFK Center.
Good afternoon, everyone. At the request of the commission and the commissioners, I put together a brief report on potential renovations and upgrades at Anthony Brooks Park. To start that report, Anthony Brooks Park is located on the corner of Valvasia and Madison Street. It's directly across the street from the JFK Center. This park is 0.64 acres in size, and it currently contains playground, swing set, a picnic shelter, picnic tables, other amenities, signage, lights, and several mature trees on the property. The current playground that's on there was purchased in, approximately 2000. I found a couple of different dates, 2099, one or the other. Purchased at that time and was installed and has been there ever since. The surfacing under that is a sand surface. It's the only, park in our community that has that sand surfacing underneath it as opposed to the mulch or the newer stuff that went on to Newman or, out here at Central. And I've then, looked up some prices, talked to some vendors about installation and possible removal of that playground and installation of a new playground. Currently for a commercial playground, which we would obviously go back with commercial residential grade, the current cost of a playground of that approximate size, and there's a number of different layouts, and we would be a customized layout, would be right around $55,000 for the purchase and delivery of the playground. What that doesn't include, unfortunately, is the installation of the playground and the surfacing that goes beneath it for the safety of those that play on it. The installation is an estimated number based on past purchases that we've done here in Henderson with some of the same vendors that I used to get numbers for it. We're looking at anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 for the installation of that playground. And then an additional $20,000 to $25,000 for the delivery and installation of the mulch that goes underneath it. There is an upcharge if we decided to go with poured-in-place rubber surfacing that's similar to what's over at Central Park. Because that's comprised of not just petroleum products and oil-based products, as well as it takes a specialized staff to install it. It's almost a concrete installation, so you have to have workers trained in the installation. The cost of the installation for that, for the 45 by 45 square foot area or 45 by 45 area that it would go in, runs right about $50,000. So the installation of that specialty surface is almost the same. Like I said, those petroleum products really did a number on the cost of that. But the purchase price for that type of surface is almost the same as the installation of the purchase of the playground. So all together and all said and done, to purchase the playground, to install the playground, and to utilize the mulch surfacing underneath it, you're looking at right around $80,000.
And that is with a lot of features?
No. Okay. I haven't gotten that far.
Okay. I would say it sounds kind of slow.
You're correct, unfortunately. Then I went on to investigate water features, and I found there's two current options that we could utilize to construct a water feature on that property. One would be the same situation that we used at East End, where we would have a design build firm come in, design it, and install it. I went off the prices we used for East End Park, which was, at the time in 2016, that was $115,000 for just the installation of the water feature. There were some other amenities that the city provided in kind. There was some concrete work, water and sewer connections, and other things that the city provided. But that $115,000 is basically the design and the installation of a water feature. This would be the exact same as East End. Obviously, we could have it designed to whatever specifications, larger, smaller, that we wanted. Another option that I found was there are now companies providing prefabricated water features. They come in 5 or 6 different options. These are water features similar to East End. They don't utilize a recirculation. The water goes straight to drains and storm sewers. And that is a $50,000 purchase and a $50,000 installation on top of it with licensed plumbing. So you're looking at about $100,000 for the installation of a water feature. Unfortunately, when I started asking about water features, one of the things that triggered was water features, according to Kentucky Plumbing Code, require adjacent restrooms within 150 feet. That left us with really 2 options. One option is the construction of restrooms on site, smaller restroom, 1 male, 1 female restroom, as well as an area in between a plumbing chase for electric plumbing and other mechanical areas as needed. Again, using the same numbers that we took from East End Park, as well as I talked to some other parks and rec in the area, including Davis County, and they just did exactly the same thing, had a bathroom constructed for a water feature down at Panther Creek Park in Davis County. The cost for their restroom was right at $150,000 for the construction of the restroom. The other option, now that includes restroom, plumbing, electric, and the construction of it, so that's material and construction. So, of those three different portions, if you chose to install the spray ground, you'd also have to do the restroom. The only other option, and I don't know that, I haven't done the actual measurements yet, but I don't think it's feasible, is to utilize the restrooms at the JFK Center. But that would require the JFK Center to be open every hour that the facility is open. So at the end of the day, when you started to add up all of these prices and all of those numbers, it turns out that the playground would run anywhere, would be the least expensive portion of it, and I say that in context. The playground would be the least expensive, $45,000 to $55,000. The installation of that, an additional $20,000, and then a mulch installation, if we were to go toward the low end of another $20,000. So you're probably looking at anywhere from $75,000 to $85,000 for the installation of that. And then it gets considerably more expensive when you start adding spray grounds and restrooms to the other one. That's another $200,000, $250,000 for the playground and for the spray ground and the restrooms that would be required for it. So all said and done, if we completely went all in on it, replace the playground, replace the mulch with the rubberized surfacing, install the spray ground, and install the bathrooms, we're looking at least a $350,000 project.
Let me ask you, what was the life expectancy of East End's water feature? They tell us like 20 years?
No, they didn't, but what we've seen from the downtown water feature, 20 years, is about what you could expect. I will say, though, that, like all of those things, a lot of it depends on the contractor. The contractor that we have, we required some, repairs on year 2 of the East End playground. So, but, it's expected a 20-year lifespan. If everything is well maintained, no graffiti, or not graffiti, but vandalism or any major issues, 20 years.
I would like for us to, really consider doing it because, I really, for some reason, I guess it's just been hot. I'm getting older and it just felt hot this year to me. I could just see all those, which is, that area is really a big population of young kids from Lawndale all the way back over to South Heights. If they could come to a place and be able to use a water feature and use it at that level, I think it would be well worth the money for us to invest in it. Because we don't have a pool on that end. Matter of fact, when we grew up, I think we had about 5. We could poke pool, we had pools everywhere. Since we don't have a pool, and we can get that kind of, 20 years for $350,000, I think it would be well worth it for the neighborhood. And it would really be nice for the neighborhood. Since we're gonna invest more money in the East End, we're trying to bring it back, and I think it just fits in with the whole program. I think it would be nice.
Lizzie, is that something that you would, consider for the next year's budget, to look into the budget for next year, to see?
That's what I would recommend, but I would recommend now that staff do a site development plan, get everything together that's gonna be put together, because that takes time. And then I think by February, when we begin the budget process, we can begin that discussion.
Doing, that kind of cost on it, over the course of 20 years, you're talking about less than $20,000 a year. It seems expensive up front, but the use you get out of it over the years might make it really worthwhile.
I can't speak to the repairs that are required. Apparently, we had some early on, but are we having issues now with maintenance?
Minor maintenance issues, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing unexpected, nothing budgeted. I believe we had some, to replace the starting bollard on one of the years, the button that starts the East End, and then on one year we had some issues with the transmitter that would actually transmit the start command from the bollard to the machinery in the electrical room, and that was replaced and repaired. So
And how long have we had it in now?
8 years at least.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it-
not.
I was up there, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. It looks good. It looks like they just put it in. It really looks good.
The only question I have, Trace, on the playground equipment, you're suggesting replacing it.
Mhm.
Is it beyond its useful life, or is it because the layout of the site to accommodate a splash pad, or?
It would need to move somewhat, it would need to move because unless we wanted to remove some of those mature trees, which I would recommend against. Those trees provide shade for both the playground, and if we were to work the playground and spray ground into the existing footprint, we could utilize some shade from that. Otherwise, we can see, the downtown water feature, just what a lack of shade, the difference in how comfortable it is to stay down there, especially on that concrete surface makes.
Is it possible that we could save some of that equipment and just, shift it to different places? You think we could?
Well, I would highly recommend against it. Once you've moved playground equipment, then you take on all the liability, because at that point, you've become the constructor and you become the engineer and the designer of that piece of equipment. So generally, if you're gonna move a piece of playground equipment, you're not, unless you're willing to take on that risk that if something breaks, somebody falls off of it, and they start to look at litigation, then you've effectively designed all of that equipment.
Tell you what, that bathroom price, I bet I can find somebody, build some restrooms cheaper than $150,000.
And I say that, but all of our restrooms are all the standard stainless steel furnishings as opposed to, I mean, you can get cheaper porcelain furnishings, but we've seen vandalism on those any money that you save putting in porcelain over that stainless steel, you lose it after you've replaced it a couple times.
We want to make sure we put in that total lot. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. Nice presentation. Okay, is there anyone here today that has something to bring before the commission that's not on the agenda? All right, we will move on to Commissioner's report. Commissioner Bowles, anything today? Commissioner Pruitt, anything today?
Yeah, I've got a request for my son. He's always getting on me. You guys, he lives in Atlanta now, so you guys ought to do more of this. I said, well, hey, we don't have a tax base. But anyway, he told me to bring this up. He wanted us to think about having a homecoming for anybody that was raised in Henderson and a weekend. And he said, we hadn't talked about all the, things what he's talking about, but his concept was, and Henderson is inviting everybody that growed up here and moved away, and it's probably a lot of us, and a lot of grandkids, to have a weekend where we invite them back to Henderson. And I told him I would just put it out there, and we'll talk about it at the other workshops and add that in there. I don't know what you guys think about that, but.
Would you be willing to head that up?
I would. If you guys are thinking that may be something that might be nice, and it's like a homecoming from wherever, if you grew up, went to college, and you moved off, we want to invite everybody back at one weekend. And hopefully that would help economic hotels and whatever, but I don't know. I asked him, I said, what event would you have for everybody coming back? He said, have a big concert. I said, hey, we ain't got all that. But anyway, that's kind of what he wanted me to bring to the commission.
Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. I think we've had so much to show now that we didn't have to show 10 years ago or 15 years ago, that it's a pretty nice situation, so good to consider.
Homecoming for the citizens of Henderson that moved away, living in other places.
Commissioner Staton, anything else tonight?
Yeah, Buzzy, I was at a meeting last night, and a citizen that I think all of us on the commission know, David Curlin, he brought up a really good point. He said something, they were talking about the new voting laws for Kentucky and what IDs had to be shown, that a lot of people will be showing an identification card because they can't get a driver's license or do not have one. What he had said, and I haven't verified this, but I have no reason to doubt him, is that all of our identifications now run through the Borax Drive property where we go to get our real IDs. and he had some concerns about transportation. Because we don't, as far as I know, we don't have a regular bus route that goes out there. I'm not proposing that we do a regular bus route, but I was wondering if it's possible, can we do a free on-demand service for people who need to get their IDs and don't have transportation to that area?
Ironically, I got a email today from Crystal Winhouse from our heart, and she gave me a rather lengthy recommendation, which included that subject matter. And what I would like to do is share her thoughts and comments with the Board of Commissioners and get your feedback on her plan, because she's been working very closely with economic development on transportation needs for the industry that is on the west end of Henderson. As you're aware, we used to run a route to the college. It was not heavily used, but in her proposed plan, she is addressing about 3 different needs that could be beneficial to our citizens, and one of those is to answer your question. So let me share that with y'all, get your thoughts and feedback on it, and then we'll see what we can do to move forward with her proposed plan.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thank you.
Great, good deal. Commissioner Thomas, anything to that? Dawn, what have you got there, young lady?
Tomorrow at 10:30 at the 3rd floor of the Henderson County Courthouse right next door in the Fiscal Court Building will be the last of the Master Commissioner cells on the current mass foreclosure. We have 3 vacant lots that will be sold. All those vacant lots have houses on them that the city paid to take down. So we would really hope that they sell so they can get back on the tax roll. 1028 Pringle Street, 203 Hicks Street, and 5 Winstead Avenue. So if anyone is interested in any of these lots, I would encourage you to attend the sale tomorrow, the Master Commissioner sale at 10:30.
One of the goals on these Master Commissioner sales all along, and it's been very reasonably successful to good to very successful, is to get these properties out to people that have a need to build a house and can buy a lot very economically to do that. And I think of all of them that's been done over the past several years, there's been a large percentage of them that has either been built on or remodeled and are now back on the tax rolls and supply a good roof over families' heads. So hope these 3 work out as well. And we appreciate you and Teresa's work on that Master Commissioners. All righty, we do not have any need for an executive session tonight, and I don't think we have anything else to bring forward. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And Commissioner Staton, may I have permission to sign your name to the list?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Okay.